You scrolled past at least 40 things to get here. You have no idea what any of them were. But you kept going, like a zombie, a very entertained, very stupid zombie. And here's the part that should genuinely disturb you. Your brain didn't just let that happen. It asked for it. It begged for it. It is right now actively rewarding you for doing the dumbest possible thing you could do with your time. You are paying with your intelligence, in real time, on a subscription model. And before you close this tab, I'm going to tell you about one dead simple fix that can reverse all of it. It's not a detox app. It's not meditation. It's not some 14-step productivity system designed by a guy who wakes up at 4 a.m. and hates fun. It's something so embarrassingly obvious that when I tell you, you're going to want to fight me. But we'll get there. First, let's talk about the crime scene inside your skull. Before starting, I would like you to check your attention score. You just have to answer the questions shown on the screen in yes or no. Every yes is 1 point. You can pause this video here. What is your total? Comment your score now. If your score is between 1 and 3, then you can leave this video right here. But if your score is above 4, then this video is very important for you. In 2004, the average person's on-screen attention span was 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Not impressive, but okay, functional. Now, 47 seconds. Your attention span is losing a race to a goldfish with a concussion. We're talking a 70% collapse in just 20 years. That's not a decline, that's a cliff. That's your brain skydiving without a parachute while filming a TikTok on the way down. The average adult now spends over 6.5 hours a day on screens. In some countries, that number hits 9 hours. 9! That is a full-time job. Except instead of a salary, you receive worse memory, worse focus, and an inexplicable awareness of which celebrity couple broke up last Thursday. And teenagers? Over 9 hours on screens daily. Some of these kids are literally spending more time scrolling than they spend sleeping. Let that sit for a second. Actually, don't. You'll get distracted. Here's what is physically happening inside your head right now, explained as quickly as possible before you lose interest. Your prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain that handles thinking, focusing, and making decisions that don't completely embarrass you. Every time you scroll and land on something new, your brain fires a hit of dopamine. Same system, every time. Swipe, hit, like a slot machine. Except the slot machine lives in your pocket, costs nothing, and you pull the lever 96 times a day. That's the actual average, 96 phone checks, per day. Now here's where it gets ugly. When your brain gets flooded with dopamine over and over, it doesn't go, wonderful, more dopamine. It goes, this is too much, I'm raising the baseline. So now everything that isn't a screen, a real conversation, a meal, a sunset, another human being standing in front of you, feels flat, boring, pointless, because it can't compete with the neurological slot machine in your hand. You haven't lost the ability to enjoy life. You've just trained your brain to think life isn't stimulating enough. Congratulations on outsmarting yourself into misery. And it starts young, brutally young. You've seen those kids watching Cocomelon, nearly 2 billion subscribers, constant scene changes, shrieking primary colors, music that never stops. That show is scientifically engineered to send a child's developing brain directly into a trance state. Parents notice that when they remove it, the child doesn't just cry. The child goes through withdrawal symptoms. A tiny person going through withdrawal from a cartoon about farm animals. Dr. John Newton's research found that kids with high screen time show measurable weakening in the brain regions responsible for reading, language, and decision-making. And kids with more than 60 minutes of daily screen time start showing increased ADHD symptoms. 60 minutes. A lot of us hand children iPads at breakfast. We are essentially giving toddlers cigarettes and then wondering why they can't sit still. Screen time for children under 3 should be 0, non-negotiable. Their brains are still being built. You do not renovate a house by letting someone take a sledgehammer to the unfinished walls. Here's the deeper problem, and this one is going to make you feel genuinely crazy. Your brain has not updated since the Stone Age. Not metaphorically, literally. 300,000 years ago, we were hunter-gatherers whose brains evolved around one core ability: spot the new thing fast. New movement in the bushes? Predator. New sound? Danger. New food source? Survival. Dopamine. Go. Your brain still runs that same ancient software. It cannot tell the difference between a predator in the jungle and a notification badge on Instagram. To your brain, they are neurologically identical. Same urgency, same reward hit, same "I must see what happens next." And then a bunch of very smart, very well-paid engineers in California figured that out. And now there are entire teams, hundreds of people, whose sole job is to exploit that exact evolutionary glitch in your prehistoric brain. The algorithm is not designed to entertain you. It is designed to trap you. And it was built by people who understand your psychology better than you understand your own psychology. Marshall McLuhan said it back in 1964. Before smartphones, before the internet, before any of this, the medium is the message. He meant that it's not just what you're watching, it's the way you're watching it that rewires how you think. He was essentially warning us 50 years in advance. Nobody listened. Classic. Scientists call this a cognitive evolutionary mismatch. Your environment is evolving at warp speed. Your brain thinks you're still in the jungle. The jungle now has an algorithm. And the algorithm wins every time, because it was specifically designed to beat the part of you that's 300,000 years old. One study found that the average human finger scrolls the equivalent height of Mount Everest every 20 days. That is not a fun fact. That is a symptom described in data. There's one more thing that doesn't get talked about enough, and it genuinely scares me. It's called cognitive offloading, or the Google effect. Your brain has made an executive decision. If information is easily searchable, it doesn't need to store it. Why memorize anything when you can pull it up in 3 seconds? Sounds efficient? It is not. Because creativity, actual original thought, happens when your brain connects old stored memories and makes new patterns out of them. No stored memories means no new connections. You're not thinking anymore. You're searching. There is a difference, a large one. Some studies show that excessive screen time causes the cerebral cortex, the actual physical layer of your brain responsible for higher thinking, to get thinner. Not metaphorically, measurably thinner. Your brain is losing mass, on a diet it never agreed to. The United Nations reports that 292 million people worldwide struggle with drug addiction. Around 210 million people struggle with social media addiction. It took drug cartels centuries to build that kind of reach. The dopamine cartel did it in 15 years and got us to install it voluntarily. Okay, I promised you the fix. Here it is. And here is the beautiful irony. The same mechanism that wrecked your brain is the same one that can rebuild it. It's called neuroplasticity. Your brain rewires constantly. That's why it broke in the first place, because you trained it. 15 years of scrolling and your brain adapted. The same process runs in reverse. You just have to stop being deliberately counterproductive about it. Here's how. 1. Admit it. You have a problem. Skip the "I could quit anytime" routine. You check your phone 96 times a day. That is not casual use. That is a pattern. Admit it, and then you can actually do something about it. 2. Train your attention like a muscle. You didn't lose your focus overnight. You are not getting it back overnight. If your brain has been surviving on 30-second reels, you cannot sit down with a 500-page book on day 1. Start with 10 minutes of reading. A real book, physical pages. Tomorrow, 15 minutes. The week after, 20. Your neural pathways literally rebuild. Slowly, but they rebuild. 3. Design your environment. Willpower alone does not work. This is not an opinion. This is how brains function. If your phone is on your desk, you will pick it up. Put it in another room. Put apps inside folders inside folders. Make accessing the distraction annoying. Make laziness work for you. Your future self will be smarter than your present self, and your present self should stop sabotaging them. 4. Own your mornings. The first thing you do in the morning calibrates your dopamine baseline for the entire day. If you wake up and immediately swipe through 50 videos, you have told your brain this is the minimum stimulation it requires. Every real conversation, every task, every moment of normal life will feel insufficiently exciting by comparison. Instead, do something low stimulation for the first hour. Walk without your phone. Read. Sit in silence and plan your day. Exist without a screen for 60 minutes. I know, revolutionary. 5. Do nothing, on purpose. Once a day, 1 hour, 0 input. No phone, no TV, no podcast, no music, nothing. Just you and the loud, uncomfortable silence of your own thoughts. This is not relaxing. It will feel terrible for the first week. That discomfort is your dopamine receptors recalibrating. Let it happen. When normal life starts feeling interesting again, you'll know it's working. 6. Make your phone genuinely boring. Go into your developer settings right now. Switch your screen to grayscale. No colors, just gray. Watch how fast your phone stops calling to you. Bright colors are an engineered psychological trigger. Remove them and turn off every notification that is not a direct phone call or a message from a real human being. Your food delivery app does not need to speak to you. It is not your friend. 7. Get back into your body. Play a sport, cook a meal from scratch, go hiking, learn guitar, go to the gym. These activities require presence, coordination, and genuine problem solving. Every hour you spend actually doing something real is an hour your brain is rebuilding everything the algorithm stripped from it. This is not self-improvement content. This is literal neurological repair. 8. Consume with intention. Before you open any app, ask yourself one question. Why am I opening this? Not because I'm bored. That is not a reason. That is a reflex. If you have a real reason, you're looking for specific information, connecting with a specific person, learning something specific, fine. If the honest answer is, I have no idea, close the app before it opens. That moment of pause is where your brain starts fighting back. Here is what I need you to understand before you go. Your brain is not broken. It has been trained by people who are exceptionally smart, extraordinarily well compensated, and whose continued financial success depends entirely on you remaining as distracted, as passive, and as mentally depleted as you currently are. That's not a conspiracy. That's a business model. The good news is, you can fire them. You made it to the end of this. That already puts you in the top 15%. The rest are 4 tabs over watching a compilation of people falling off skateboards. But finishing a video means nothing if you close this and go straight back to scrolling. So here is your actual instruction. Put the phone down after this. Sit in the quiet for 5 minutes and do nothing. Not because it's comfortable, it won't be. Because that 5 minutes of discomfort is where your intelligence went to hide. Go find it.